Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for coming in here. We have a very interesting discussion today, and we've got a very esteemed panel together. Let me start by introducing the panel. So I'll start with Dr. Ankita Singh. She's the Senior Vice President and Global Head of HR for Cygnus Datamatics. Very accomplished HR professional, over 19 years of experience. The second gentleman is Shrikant Arimanitya. We all know him as Shri. He's an old friend of mine, old ex-colleague. We work together in BHL. Currently, is the global in Philips. Currently, is the global talent and enablement services leader for EY Global Delivery Services. And Shri has been working for over 25 years now in different kinds of roles, but all of them within HR. Last but not least is Ms. Vaishali Pathak. She's from Tech Mahindra, Global Head of Technical Learning, Diversity and Inclusion. She's part of the Strategic Talent Management and Skill Transformation team as well. She's redefined objectives of the learning function through her career. She's a member of the Research Project Board at NASSCOM IT Sector Skills Council, member of the Mahindra IT Academy and Mahindra Service Excellence Academy, and she's a member of the Group Diversity Council. My background is completely different. I'm not a HR guy. I'm an engineer by qualification in my profession. I've worked my whole corporate career in R&D jobs, product development primarily. I started with DHL, moved to Robert Bosch, and then spent 12 years at Philips. Last 9 years, I also work a lot with the Manipal Group. Manipal Global Education is one of the entities within the group, and what we do is we are into training. We are also into assessments. What we'd like to do today is really discuss about how do you handle the current situation and what it means for us, but from a very specific perspective. Talent building at a distance.
When we talk about getting people from the market, obviously the way has changed. Getting talent at a distance and still managing them to come and join us, it's a little difficult, but I think the purpose plays the key role around it. If at all you are able to drive it with a purpose, you are able to identify the right resources, and most importantly, if you are able to identify the right process which will fit in the current requirement, that really helps. So acceptability and adaptability in both these aspects comes really handy. We know that these are our limitations and these are the options available. Most of the companies, by force, I would say, or by readiness, they have already moved into that category.
One of the biggest challenge we faced looking at this concept of virtual world, the physical and social distancing is very important today. But one of the biggest challenge, how do you maintain the physical and social distance but keep psychological proximity? I will narrate the entire my experience into three phases: pre-COVID, COVID, and post-COVID. How do we provide exceptional EY experience to our community, whoever it may be, even freelancing or contract employees or everybody? The second one is the exceptional EY experience is a product of leadership. And we as leaders are responsible and accountable for providing that exceptional EY experience to our community. So we recently come up with a concept called the transformative leadership. The new norm, the mantra is physical distancing and psychological proximity.
What we did in COVID, essentially that, first of all, we thought that there is a need for connecting with people about their emotional and physical well-being. So what we did is we started certain theme-based learnings. We started themes in terms of how can we really have empathy kind of thing, or how can we start working virtual collaboration, how can we do design thinking workshops in a remote manner. So a lot of such trainings which we were earlier doing, we had to remodel some of the trainings to ensure that people are emotionally fit. Because I think that was the need for the hour in first 2 weeks of time, I would say.
I have a very interesting question, maybe a difficult question from Mr. Sadashivam. He's from the supply chain and logistics industry. His question is this, right? So he's saying, look, a lot of the labor is has left, right? So from their workplace, they've gone back to their hometown, this, that, and that. We don't know when they will come back. Do we have any thoughts or ideas on how such industries that are dependent on migrant labor for to doing a lot of their work, and this is physical work, right? They just need to be on the spot, delivering things, or in the case of supply chain, actually even this transporting items back and forth. Any thoughts on how you see that evolve over the next couple of months?
Since I worked in Toyota, Britannia, the entire supply chain is the backbone of this kind of business models. Very unfortunate that what IT enabled services can do, manufacturing cannot do, especially from supply chain perspective. One thing, these companies in difficult time continue to touch base with the employees. Many of them contract workers have mobile phones, WhatsApps, and video calls and everything. So they are getting connected with the people in this difficult time. Once the lockdown opens up, couple of things will change. I have seen Toyota release the manual, beautiful manual. I can send it to this group. It's a public document. Right from you leave home to get back to home, they created pre-COVID situation and post-COVID situation, how you should behave. And Toyota have a pictorial way of creating manuals. So even I saw Fiki rolled out a manual for manufacturing, supply chain, how you need to deal it in pure. Now the reimagination of workplaces need to happen. I was talking to one of my friend again in manufacturing, car manufacturing. I don't know the name the company. What they are thinking is the point of failure concept in process engineering. When a components comes to assembling a car, do not hand it over to multiple people. The human interface make it reduce. So what they are thinking, a pilot, for example, the tire manufacturing companies come and give the tire, they assemble the tire, the rim, the tube, and everything. So they are telling you guys to come and fix it in the conveyor belt. The vehicle will stop for 2 minutes. The guys who's getting the material like a just in time, you fix it into the car and go, so that you don't hand it over five hands. And the one hand bring the tire, assemble the tire, and fix it into the conveyor belt.
Coming back to our other topic on talent acquisition, right? So one of the thoughts that is running in many managers' mind, not really maybe in the HR community, but for sure in the business manager's mind, is look, I would ultimately like to see the person I'm recruiting. What's your take on that? Will that continue? Are we going to completely get rid of that phase going forward?
We can't completely eliminate the human angle, because the kind of vibe we share when we actually see a person, when we shake hand with somebody, or when we exchange, sitting across the table, we exchange the ideas, that we cannot completely eliminate, but closer to it, that experience now we have started getting through a lot of these video tools. Because if you look at the data what Microsoft published, the usage of Microsoft Teams has suddenly gone up in the last 4 weeks. I see a lot of convergence coming out because of this, I would say, a forced transformation or mandatory transformation, while all sectors are going through it. For IT, it was a little easier because we were working in that environment, but you take any other sector, I think probably this is the time everybody will have to reimagine how the world will be after COVID. This is an opportunity for us to rehash something and build new.
Now, COVID has done many good things to life. Um, one is the hiring managers' behavioral change, and there's done a lot of change to the nature. So earlier, people not only want to meet first time, some of the candidate they want to meet three times in the restaurant, in the office. They want different settings. So now people are scared. Even if I tell, I will get the candidate to meet, no, 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 I don't want to meet anybody.
If at all we are talking about post-COVID scenario where suddenly we know that now market is open and most of us are working from home, and will it give more leeway or where females will get more opportunity? I would 100% not agree to that, because whatever strength or whatever workforce is available today, they are still going to be available from home. And probably tomorrow, when we see a gig economy and boundaryless organizations, probably one male person who was initially handling or working with one organization would be available to work for two organizations at the same time. So that's going to play a very critical role.
Coming back to this different part of the puzzle, So we are used to going to campuses and doing campus recruitments. En masse, you get hundreds of people from a campus, stuff like this. How do you folks see that model evolving?
Now we are engaging a lot of college graduates in gig now in the early semester so that they can do internship remotely through gig now, and we send micro task to them, and they can practice their micro task. So one area which I strongly believe, which I've been propagating in many university, I also work with the Manipal group in some projects. Why can't we get college graduates enrolled in the early semester in the gig platform and send them micro task aligned with their curriculum? Instead of monolithic job description of recruitment, recruiters supposed to do branding, sourcing, screening, scheduling, offer follow-up, and onboarding. Now we are breaking down into branding, sourcing, and we are creating micro task. And one person earlier used to do, now 8 people will do it, but they have a scale of doing. And this is called micro task, and micro task require micro skills, and micro skills require micro learning. So an MBA or engineer, when they pass out, they have certified in 18 to 20 micro skills.
So it's not that we would hire all the students going in the campus, select them, do the conventional campus selection process. Like they can join as freelancers. So right now more than 10,000 people have already onboarded onto that platform, Flix.ai. And I think that's going to be the future.
Next question is also to you, and this is from a person called Banu. She says many MSMEs struggle with, because of this, the fact that their business is down, etc. They struggle with keeping their employees motivated. Salaries have to be cut in some form or the other, deferred payments, etc. In this context, how do we keep employees motivated and continue to build their talent?
So companies also have to take the same approach. They have to tell them you have to be very clear when you are communicating. You have to give the purpose. You have to give the reason why you are doing it, and you have to get them onto the same page. Being transparent is the only thing that will help. You have to tell them that, you can't be telling them that we are getting impacted and that's why it's my decision. You have to convince each employee that you are part of the picture, you are part of the game, and today, because I'm here, I just need your support.
In the past, any online program completion rates were dismally low. Right? People, 1%, 2%, if they completed, it was fantastic. All of us know these statistics from the book platforms. How are you people ensuring that your employees actually learn from it?
I think we need to link it to the outcome, that what is in it I'm getting after this, what is in it for me, if you can put that purpose. So what we are doing is it's not only learning, but after learning, am I getting deployed into the new engagement?
Do you think there are competencies that cannot be learned online? And if so, what are we going to do about that?
There are two contexts to it. One, either you get a study material or you get a mentor or a teacher who can teach you this. So online, these two things are very much possible. So today, if at all I want to know something about Tech Mahindra or what policies they are doing and where they are actually excelling, one is, have they posted anything online and I can get into it, I can learn and I can adapt. Second is, obviously there are a lot of companies or there are a lot of courses which are not online. Can I get directly in touch with the expert and learn? I'm sure everybody has a lot of time and people are, and I keep telling students also that whatever you want to learn, whichever company you want to join, whatever skill set, competency, whatever you want to take up, find the person who's already doing it and tag along. There are few, probably out of 10, who would shrug away, they would say, sorry, we don't have time and this is not the right thing. 8 people would be kind enough to at least help you in some or the other way.
At the end of the day, biggest challenge of any organization is defining the economics of learning. Every learning, because time is spacious, money is spacious today, especially a lot of COVID and post-COVID, the resources going to be very, very limited. Then how do you really make best use of the resources? So the learning has to convert into individual growth, productivity improvements and performance, and for organization, it should increase the revenue. So what we try to do is every learning, we understand the economics and ensure that we facilitate the economics for employee and for the organization. We have classified entire learning initiatives around two dimensions: transformative mindset and digital skill set. Transformative mindset like agile, design thinking, inspirational leadership, transformative leadership, and digital skill like all big data science and all this kind of things. All aspects of learning, whether it's behavioral or technical or domain or leadership, interpersonal relationship, collaboration, everything can be learned online. And as you know, as a pedagogy of learning, your three things we look at: education-based strategy, experience-based strategy, and relationship-based strategy. Relationship-based strategy is performance feedback, coaching, mentoring, and experience is doing projects and shadowing a person while he does things. And the last one is the e-learning. So everything can be done. We have seen whether it's behavioral or process or domain or technology or leadership. Now we are moving more and more towards e-learning platform.
A lot of what we are talking about is really seems to be from the perspective of the juniors, right? So what we call the digital natives, they are kind of born and brought up in the era of the internet. Just talking about senior people in an organization, 15, 20, 25 years experience. Uh, do you think they will make this switch seamlessly? Do they have to make this switch?
Some of the folks were apprehensive whether they can have the customer meetings the way they used to have the
Yeah.
actually face-to-face meetings, and whether those meetings will be fruitful or not. So there was a lot of apprehension among their mind that whether they can have the same meeting, same effectiveness. But after COVID, I think they were, again, we call it as workshops. There were 5 hours workshops with the customer discussing the requirements, and end of it, both customer and the tech folks, they said that, okay, it was almost 85 to 90% we could achieve what we would have done it if you would have got in one meeting room and discussed. Another advantage was there were people in the other geographies who earlier never used to get chance to participate because there was no travel. So it became all the more inclusive. So I think some advantages are of course coming because of this. So even for the
Yeah,
senior,
very nice.
as I said, it's nothing to do with the generation, but it is the mindset.
The COVID situation is not easily amenable for analysis and what are your companies doing to manage the risk that is going to come out of this?
We always say it's not only your health, you're also accountable for your family's health as well as your fellow colleagues' health. That's a message we are doing. Need to be more responsible. It's a huge behavioral change is required. Again, we are talking about mindset. So we through all this initiative, what we are trying to do is teaching people some micro habits, and behavioral change is so important. Otherwise, very we can configure the office, we can configure the home differently, but it is a behavior.
Something that we are concerned about, or something which is under our control, is the current projects that we have in hand and our employees. So employees' safety and wellness, and the second thing is business continuity. So from survival mode, when we were actually hit, we suddenly realized that we just have to take care of our employees. Business is getting impacted everywhere, so we can just take a pause. We are not talking about business. For first 2 weeks, we just spoke about our employees. Beautifully, in a way, we have managed to come to continuity mode, where we know that whatever we were doing, being in office, we are able to do an online strategic system as well. Now the third phase about being productive, that's where we are working, where we are connecting with them on daily basis just to check how well we can enable them more.
A lot of customers are revisiting their IT plans overall. Because of COVID, there is a high chance that a lot of AI and digital related system enhancement would happen, which were not
Correct.
here on the priority. Like workspace as a service. This is something coming up very new. So something like that will come up.
Panelists, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for all the attendees who are still online. Appreciate your presence.